I've been using this iPhone 15 Pro, currently using it to record this video. I've been using it for the past 12 days. I think it's about time I give you guys my full review. If you guys are new here, I'm reviewing this device as a vlogging device and as a YouTube content creation device, if those are not one and the same. The whole reason I buy these devices is to make YouTube videos with them, whether that be vlogs, product reviews, restaurant reviews. In the 12 days of me using the iPhone 15 Pro, besides me babying it, more on that later, I can't sit here and lie. This has to be one of the greatest devices I've ever used. Everything from how quickly the camera loads and takes video on, no stuttering, no issues, to the simple things like taking a picture and having the portrait data saved in the background. I can't explain to you guys how many times I've taken a picture of my children and thought, oh, let me try a portrait mode. And by the time I get to portrait mode, the shot is gone. The kids moved, the scene changed. Now that I could just open the camera app and snap that photo once and be pretty confident that the portrait data is in the background, that's a big deal. That's not a small upgrade in my book. That is huge. That is game changing. But the main reason I buy these devices is for my YouTube channel. If you guys are watchers of the channel, you guys know that I filmed vehicle reviews, product reviews. Pretty much everything is being filmed using my iPhone. Of course, you gotta mention when getting your footage off of your device. The faster USB-C speeds when using the correct cable is a huge deal for me, because I sometimes transfer 10, 20, 30 gigabytes worth of footage without ProRes. That'll be coming up soon. Having the ability to get all of that stuff off of my phone in seconds rather than minutes could result in the video going up today or tomorrow or 2 days from now, because I didn't have time to edit that last few minutes. When you're creating content daily, or trying to, that few minutes, it adds up, especially when you're on the larger file transfer end of the spectrum. By the way, since we're talking about USB-C, can I just tell you guys that we've come full circle? I could use the same USB-C headphones and plug them into my MacBook. A lot of you guys watching this are probably trying to decide from like 15 and 15 Pro series, whether that be the Plus and the Max or just the regular smaller ones. I only recommend getting the Pro if you're utilizing every aspect of your phone. If you're a content creator yourself, but you're making like short YouTube videos, TikToks, Instagram Reels, just posting up pictures on Instagram. If you're never connecting to a computer, you don't need a Pro device. The extra lens, the zoom lens, the extra faster chip, I don't see the point of it. The phones are so fast as it is. I don't see a situation where the Pro is better than the 15 if you're just doing everything on device. But someone like me who uses a MacBook and Final Cut Pro, I get every bit of use out of the new USB-C port. If the regular iPhone 15 had the faster USB-C speeds and didn't charge you an extra $30, $29 or $30 for buying unlocked instead of with a carrier, I probably would just get the baseline iPhone. But there's something about these Pro devices that just give me more flexibility when it comes to content creation and making vlogs. I was seriously debating, instead of getting the 15 Pro, to just get the 13 mini. But I wanted to try out the 15 Pro before making that decision, and I'm pretty glad I am, because the 15 Pro has some killer features. One thing I was concerned about when going from the 13 Pro to the newer devices was that the battery life on the 13 Pro is probably going to even be better than the iPhone 17 Pro, because the 13 Pro was so ahead of the curve, ahead of its time, that I don't even think Apple could beat themselves anymore. The 14 Pro, while it wasn't a letdown, you definitely got an hour to 2 hours less than you would have on the 13 Pro. Something about the 13 Pro's chip and software just sipped the battery in a way that I haven't seen yet on any other phone, whether it be even Android. The iPhone 15 Pro is basically right around the iPhone 14 Pro's battery life. It would have been amazing to have the 13 Pro's battery life, or if somehow, some way, even more. The 13 Pro, I've went sometimes 2 days without charging. And I'm talking about the regular Pro, not the Max. The Max, sometimes you get 3 days out of it. For the regular Pro, for the smaller device, getting 2 days on the 13 Pro was amazing. The iPhone 15 Pro, I mean, you're getting a full day. I haven't had this phone die out on me, and I use my phone basically all day long. Now, I've done 2 or 3 days throughout this whole time of having the iPhone where I didn't plug it into anything after it came off the charger. So, for example, when I used the navigation, I didn't connect it to my car, so the navigation will pop up on the screen. I just used the navigation on the phone and like put the phone in the cup holder and looked at the screen whenever I needed to make a turn or just listen for the navigation instructions to make sure that the phone wasn't getting charged while I was commuting, because that like kind of defeats the purpose of testing out the battery. When you're charging your device throughout the day, that doesn't count. I always say this as an example. Right now, if you go to Disney World and you don't have a charger with you, you don't have a battery bank with you, you want the phone to last you the whole day of taking pictures, videos, looking at menus for the restaurants that are there, using the app to scan your way into the attractions to save your place in line or whatever. You don't want your phone dead. If you got to the park at 10 a.m., you don't want it dead by 6. Because you still have another 4 or 5 hours of the park depending on when it closes. That's what I'm going by. So for a few days since I've got this iPhone 15 Pro, I've took it off the charger at 8 a.m. and did not need to charge it throughout the whole day. And I'm talking even at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., didn't need to charge it. So that's great, but it's not iPhone 13 Pro levels. So if you guys were expecting it to get back to that, sorry to disappoint you guys. Something I forgot to mention during filming this review was the action button. So I want to give you guys my thoughts about it really quickly. As you guys can see, I have a very hectic life. Don't really have time for myself anymore. The action button, although it's a little weird getting used to at the start, I've reached in my pocket a few times trying to flip the mute switch, and nope, it's not a switch anymore. One of the amazing things about the action button is that Apple gives you the ability to map it to whatever you like. I did something that I saw on YouTube, and it was pretty freaking amazing. I mapped the action button to different actions depending on the orientation of the iPhone. So if you're holding it just regular upright, that toggles the mute switch. But if you hold it sideways, depending on which way, it'll either open video or camera. And then if you hold it upside down, it'll toggle the flashlight. That is freaking amazing. And if you guys like customization, if you guys are into like modding things, because it's not, you can't do it out of the box. You have to download an app called Actions to go ahead and do this. But if you're into that kind of stuff, the action button is basically limitless. It gets a huge thumbs up from me. Really enjoying having the action button trigger so many different things depending on how you hold it. Now, I want to give my quick thoughts on ProRes for a second. I've recorded ProRes 30 frames per second and 60 frames per second. I hate 24 frames per second. I don't even know if there's a 24 frames per second option, but if there was, I didn't use it. ProRes has this raw photo style editing available to it. Now, if any of you has ever taken a raw photo, you know that when you drop the shadows or raise the highlights, you don't lose the quality. Nothing gets blown out really unless you overdo it. Nothing like gets lost in dark shadows. I used the 15 Pro to record ProRes just around the house. I recorded outside some rain, slowed down the 60 frames per second to 30 frames per second for some like slow motion, 50% slow motion. ProRes looks amazing. For the simple test I did in the house, it looks freaking awesome. The problem with it though is because you need to use a hard drive, an external SSD, and a USB 3.0 cable to accomplish that. Now, luckily, when you buy external SSDs, they come with USB 3.0 cables, so you should be covered there. But even then, having a huge wire stick out of your device, if you don't have a certain way to like strap it to your phone, it's like, it seems kind of overkill. If you have a certain situation where you want that high quality, you have the option. I don't think I'm going to be using that for a normal vlog just because of how much data it uses. And I only did a short test with the ProRes. I don't know how much it affects battery if you're recording on the long run, especially because there's a USB drive connected that needs power from your phone, I believe. So, not sure how practical that is, but the option's there and it does look pretty good. Since I've gotten this device, I've very rarely put it into a pocket without a case on. And to be honest with you, even shooting this clip, I was a little worried. But I feel like the more I have this device, the more comfortable I'll get with using it without a case. To me, putting a case on such a beautiful device is like such a waste for me. I don't know, it feels like weird. One of the main reasons I bought the phone was how beautiful it is and how nice it feels in the hand. Now to just throw a thick, weird, ugly case on it, like, to me, defeats the purpose. If you guys throw your devices in cases no matter what, that shouldn't bother you, that shouldn't be anything different. But someone coming from the older iPhones that I never put a case on, well, iPhone 4 I had to put a case on it because the signal would get messed up if you hold it the wrong way. Using a case is something I don't like doing with my phone, but I mean, I don't want my phone to get damaged, so I guess I'm in a weird position right now. I actually even thought about returning this phone and just getting a 13 mini because I vlog and I put my phone down on streets. I'll put my phone down somewhere just to get a certain vlog shot, and using it without a case and doing those things is pretty risky. Never had a problem with the stainless steel sides of the 14 Pro, 13 Pro, 12 Pro. Never had an issue. 15 Pro is a little bit worrisome for me. Clips that I shot of the iPhone, I was using my cousin's Galaxy S23. Thank you, James, for letting me use it. All the videos of the iPhone 15 itself were shot using my cousin's Galaxy phone. To see videos that I've been shooting with the iPhone that's not just this talking head in one spot, feel free to click my channel and click on any of the vlogs that was recorded after the iPhone 15 Pro vlog of me actually buying it. The phone is doing a very good job as a vlogging device. I'm very happy with the overall package. USB-C. Titanium feels nice. It doesn't feel as nice as stainless steel, and apparently it's not as durable. Now, I'm not going to be testing out how durable it is, that's why it's been in the case. But there's plenty of YouTube channels that are dropping it and scratching it, and it's just not doing as good as the stainless steel iPhones were. But besides that hiccup, the battery life has been fine. Using it as a vlogging device has been pleasant. It's been amazing. Although I did have one weird issue, and I don't know if I should blame my MacBook or the iPhone 15 Pro. When I recorded my son's first haircut, I had two separate files. I was recording the beginning, and then the lady cutting his hair needed a little bit of help, so I put the phone in my pocket. I was holding him down a little bit so she could cut around his ear. When she was done with that, backed away, got my phone out again, started recording again. Somehow, some way, when getting the footage into my computer using image capture, which I don't know if that was the problem, it took every file except one, got the second file. When it did that, the file got deleted. It's not in the deleted folder of my iPhone, and it's not in the deleted folder of my Mac. It just like vanished. Like, I guess on transit from the phone to the MacBook, like the USB cable, like it just got stuck in the middle and just, which is horrible because I really wanted that video to be in the vlog. It's a shame that something so weird could happen. And I don't know whose fault is it. I don't know if it's iOS 17. I don't know if it's USB-C. I don't know if it's MacBook. So just be extra careful. On image capture, I have an option that says delete videos from phone once the file transfer is complete, so that way I don't gotta go in the phone and delete it. I'm just gonna make sure if the video is really sensitive and it's like something that I can't replicate, some video that I can't get back, I just gotta make sure I disable that selection. But I just thought it was something worth mentioning to you guys. So now the question is this. I have 2 days left to return this iPhone 15 Pro if I don't want to keep it. 78% of me wants to keep the device and 22% doesn't. And the whole 22% of me that doesn't want to keep it is for two reasons. One, $1,000 on a phone is a very big financial decision. I don't just got tons of money to throw around. Usually around this time, I sell last year's device, and that pays for like 80 or 90% of the device. I only got to put up $100-200 out of my pocket. I didn't have that option this year. My iPhone 14 Pro got destroyed, and it was beyond repair, so it's just sitting in my room in a plastic bag so the glass don't cut anyone. So I didn't get to sell that to buy this phone. So out of my pocket, it cost me $999 plus tax for this phone. That's a big deal. That's not something to sneeze at. That's one reason, and the other reason is because of the durability. I don't want to use this phone and like be super careful with it, baby it, and then still end up somehow with scratches on the body or the back glass or whatever, because that'll be devastating for me, especially because it won't be covered under warranty or anything like that. You're basically out of luck if the device gets normal wear and tear, even though it's not normal compared to the previous iPhones. I'm at a 78-22 situation right now. I'm probably going to end up keeping this because I really like the iPhone 15 Pro. The thinner bezels, the way it feels in the hand. Even though I like the stainless steel feel a little bit better, the titanium rounded edges does feel nicer against your palm, against the skin of your hand, compared to how sharp the stainless steel was. USB-C is a game changer. Thank you to the people in Europe or whoever is in charge of forcing Apple's hand here. You know what's funny? I was with my friends yesterday and they all said, oh, you got the new iPhone that uses that Android charger. I was like, guys, Android, USB-C port's not just for, and it wasn't invented for Android phones. And like, they stumped me. So if you got the new iPhone, for the short future, you're gonna have the green bubble charger.